Hey everybody, welcome to the 22nd episode of California Wine TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Scott Sheldon. I'm really excited to be here today. For this episode, bargain wines from Trader Joe's, backed by popular demand. You guys asked for it? Hey, that's what we do here. So we're getting really down and dirty with this episode. Nothing here over $6. $5.99, $6.99, $5.99. So let's see what happens. See how low can we go and still get some quality juice. It's a little bit of a challenge. So okay, the first wine we have here is a Sauvignon Blanc from the Santa Ynez Valley, and it's coming from the Santa Ynez Valley. Let me give you a better shot of that beautiful label. So it's Santa Ynez Valley Winery, and it is basically brainchild of Mike Brown over at Calira. This is kind of like their bargain line of wines. Normally their wines are more in the $15, $20 range over at Calira. I think even some of them are more than that. And they have a great tasting room over in Santa Barbara now. I was just over there a couple weekends ago, and really a lot of fun, real casual, and it's just a couple blocks from the beach. Really cool stuff. So yeah, Mike Brown, Australian native, came over here because he was attracted to the fact that in Santa Barbara, great surf, great area, Santa Barbara County for growing wines and making wines, and so he got, so hey, that's the area for me. So he moved over here, started Calira, and did Santa Ynez Valley Winery as well. And he actually also started doing a line of wines back home called M. Brown in Australia. I think there's like a Shiraz, a couple other wines, not so familiar with that line. So let's give it a little pour, see what we got going on here. Again, $6 for this wine, so you got to judge with a little grain of salt, I suppose. You got a nice golden color there. The 2008 Sauvignon Blanc, Santa Ynez Valley, 13% alcohol. Nice nose. Stone fruits, peaches, apricots, pears coming through. It's also like an aroma of like freshly cut grass. You can also smell like some sweet peppers also going on, kind of a vegetal component as well. Let's give it a taste. Canned pear juice. Everybody like canned pears and the juice that's in the bottom of that. That's what comes to mind, but in a good way. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's actually really pleasant. There's actually some nice minerality to this wine, and some crisp acidity. I've had Sauvignon Blancs double this price. That I would say, you know, could go head to head with this wine and be right there with it. So. Yeah, you know, this wine isn't anything like extraordinary. You're not going to find any like real nerdy flavor nuances or aromas. This is pretty much just textbook Sauvignon Blanc done in a simple way. But for the price, I mean, this is a great wine. You want to kick back, you know, a deck, some grilled shrimp, maybe some, you know, grilled asparagus. It's a great wine for grilled foods. For vegetables, herbs as well. So keep that in mind. We still have some great summer months, you know, coming ahead, and so look for this one in your Trader Joe's. I would say definitely. Let's move on. All right, good show. Start off with. Let's move some things around. All right, so number 2. Let's do this blend next. All right, this is coming from the folks over at Big House Wines. Another great label that I gotta just, hopefully you can get a good glimpse of that. Nice artwork. So these Big House Wines, they got their name basically because over in Soledad, they're like a stone's throw away from the prison over there, over in Monterey County. And so Big House Wines is what they came up with for their name. Pretty cool packaging and marketing. You know, some people buy wine just for the label or the packaging. You know, if they don't know much about wine, that's really the thing that attracts them. So I always give kudos to people who come up with ingenious packaging. It really is a really beneficial thing, I think. So let's get into it. This winery, kind of an interesting take that they do. They're focusing on more of the varietals that you would find in like Mediterranean, France, Italy, Spain, and growing them in California. They're not really so interested in some of those other popular varieties like Chardonnay, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Pinot Noir. It's they're more into the non-traditional varieties, and they really believe that we have the great microclimate to make a lot of those really shine. This wine is a blend of over 14, no, I think it's exactly 14 different wines, excuse me. I won't read them all to you, but just listen to some of what goes into this wine. Petite Sirah, Montepulciano, Tempranillo, Barbera, Syrah, Malbec, Taborno, Aliento, Cabernet Franc, Grenache, and others. I mean, this is really, I've never had a wine that's had this many different varieties of grapes in it. Should be very interesting. Let's go, let me see that color first. Get a glance at that. Pretty dark purple. Nice smell to it. Real leather component. Real pleasing. I like that. I like that in a wine actually, when you get some of that leather. Some nice dark cherry, a little cedar action happening in there as well. Yeah, it's really like it's a pretty big fruit bomb smelling of a wine, at least for $6. I mean, wow. Let's see what happens here. Again, you have like this red, black fruit, berry profile happening. Pretty clean on the palate. There's tannins. You know, it tastes like a young wine. I don't think it's really the kind of wine that you're going to want to age. So if you don't really like that kind of sour cherry, kind of tannic aftertaste on the finish, this wine may not be for you. But if you like big, bold fruit explosions, and you don't mind some of that tannic kind of sourness, this is a very tasty wine. Some black pepper flavors happening as well. Yeah, that leather component's really, really pleasing on the nose. A little rhubarb too, kind of a fruit that doesn't get around all that much. People aren't that familiar with it throughout the world, but kind of an interesting one. That's a pretty interesting wine. Wow, very very diverse selection of grapes for such an inexpensive wine. Pretty unique, I would say. I believe they have a white wine also, Big House White, that is a blend of a lot of kind of obscure, or at least to us, obscure European varietals as well. So I may have to check that one out as well. Maybe you guys could, and let me know what you think. Wine number 3, Vinum Cellars, Pets. So Pets is a old nickname for Petite Sirah, and Yeah, I got tired kind of going around and getting real close with the bottle. So this one, you just get a little far away shot. Let's get a little more wine in here. Very dark and inky, which is what you would expect from a Petite Sirah. Interesting area, Clarksburg. It's up in the Sacramento Delta, and an area that you see a lot of wines coming from. It's got that clay, loamy soil, and the grapes there get a lot of hang time, and it's kind of what you want to get this dark, saturated, inky color in a wine like a Petite Sirah. And let's get a little smell here. Again, that fruit you'd expect, like the dark raspberries, blackberries. Smells nice. Beef jerky, big time. That's what that is. I was picking up. Yeah, it's got a really nice meaty beef jerky component on the nose. Yeah, that's quite nice. Like I said, $5.99, 14% alcohol, and see if there's anything else. Not much on the label. Oh, the other thing. Proceeds of this wine go to the San Francisco Society for the Protection of Cruelty to Animals. So if you buy this wine, you're making a difference, just like that. It's kind of a nice thing to do. And you can get a buzz, if you drink the wine. So it's a win-win. All right, little oak. Too. A little oak coming through. Nothing offensive though, I wouldn't say. Let's give it a taste. Got a nice smooth silky texture, especially, again, I keep saying this, but for a wine in this category, I hate saying that, but it's true. Wow, this has a lot more of that sour, cherry, real tannic finish. It's almost like unripe fruit. If you bite into some cherries or a nectarine or something that's not quite ripe, it's not sweet, and you kind of get that sour and your mouth puckers up. Oh, interesting. This wine probably need some nice strong cheese or something to go with it to kind of mellow out those tannins. Maybe a nice Indian food dish with that riata yogurt, or whatever they call it, on the side. That would be pretty classic to go with it. Oh, good stuff. I like this wine. Again, I kind of like some of that sourness. It doesn't bother me as much as it does some people. I think people that are newer sometimes drinking wine, just getting into wine, can find that really offensive. They may actually even think the bottle's been corked when they come across that sourness. A little bit of a toast component too. Wine enthusiast gave it 87 points. Good stuff. Let's rate them up. So we started with a Sauv Blanc from San Ynez Winery. I really like this wine. I think in a category where there are a lot of wines, $15 to $20, that don't really exude really exciting and unique flavor profiles or aromas,